So greetings viewers, hope everyone is keeping safe and healthy. Samantha here and I will be your host for today's talk where we'll be covering information on various topics throughout the day. Thanks for tuning in to MCKL eOpen Day 2020, Facebook and also Zoom live webinar. Joining me next is Mr. Colin Wong, who is a scholarship advisor at the Office of the Registrars at MCKL. And he'll be sharing more information on scholarships and financial aid at MCKL. Should you have any questions, please feel free to drop your questions below at the Q&A box below, and we will go through your questions after Mr. Colin has shared all his knowledge on the scholarships at MCKL. Now, Mr. Colin, signing off to you.
All right, good morning, everyone. And my name is Mr. Colin Wong, and I'll be your scholarship advisor for today. Just a moment, so allow me to set up screen sharing. And here we go. Okay. So, as mentioned before, my name is Mr. Colin Wong, and I'll be your scholarship advisor for today. And without further ado, we'll proceed to giving you a basic overview of the vast majority of scholarships and awards and financial aids that we offer in MCKL. So we'll start with the most common category at the top with merit scholarships. We have the most sought after 100% scholarship for tuition fees. And then the other merit scholarships are fixed amounts ranging from 1,000 ringgit to 12,000 ringgit for Malaysians. And for international students, we also do offer merit scholarships at 2,500 ringgit to 5,000 ringgit. And then our next category of scholarships are in our special scholarships, which are all percentage based. And these range from 10% to 100% of tuition fees for the awards. So the first one would be Methodist pastors' children at 100% of tuition fees, non-Methodist pastors' children at 50%, and then members of a local Methodist church at 10%. And by member of a local Methodist church, we mean that the student is the member of the church, not the parents or grandparents and so on, not relatives. And for the sibling scholarship is basically for students who have had older siblings who have completed their studies at MCKL or who are also currently studying in MCKL. You can get a sibling scholarship of 10% off tuition fees for that. And then for students who have come from selected Christian schools and those with the ICCE Christian homeschooling education, they can also qualify for a 10% special scholarship. Then the other scholarships that we have financial aid for students who are from difficult financial backgrounds, typically with household income of 4,000 ringgit or less per month. They are eligible to apply for financial aid, which can cover anywhere from 25% to 100% of tuition fees, potentially other fees as well on a case-by-case basis. And then we have the Student Leader and Achievement Award. This award is for students with outstanding co-curricular achievements while they are in school, usually from the last 2 years of school. So not necessarily all the way back from, say, primary school and so on, just the last 2 years and the most significant achievements. And these are selected on a case-by-case basis and can be awarded anywhere from 25% to 100% of tuition fees. And then those who are in Boys Brigade and so on, or under the Steadfast Association, we have the MCKL Steadfast Scholarship, covering anywhere from 50% to 100% of tuition fees. And for those who are interested in the Diploma in Early Childhood Education, if you come from a Methodist church and you are interested in serving as a kindergarten teacher for your Methodist church, this option, this joint scholarship is basically a cooperation between MCKL and your church to fund your studies for 100% of your tuition fees. And in exchange, later on, you will serve in your church for a certain number of years as a kindergarten teacher. And then the Preston L. Peach Award. This one is a bit unique in the sense that it is the only scholarship that students can apply for using their achievements whilst they are in college. So for example, a student may start off with no scholarship, or maybe just, let's say, 1,000 ringgit scholarship. And if they do very well in their first semester with a GPA of 3.8 or above, and have also held a leadership position in a club or society in MCKL, they can apply for the Preston L. Peach Award, which is 100% tuition fee coverage for one semester. And they can continue reapplying every semester so long as they still hold that leadership post and continue to maintain a GPA of 3.8 or above. And then we also have the Star Education Fund and Sinchu Education Fund. These ones can be applied through the Star and Sinchu through their own websites where you'll be able to look online and see what the criteria is for these various scholarships. And then after that, we have our miscellaneous rebates. So for example, early bird discounts for early registrations. And for those of you who are registering, let's say today or next week, on our open day, we have a rebate of 500 ringgit for those who register as well. And and if any of you are MCKL alumni who are looking to come back and continue your studies with other programs, there is also a 1,000 ringgit discount for you. Okay, so we'll be moving on to go a little more in depth into our coverage of the merit scholarships. And we'll be looking at the 100% scholarship, which is for the tuition fees. So the programs that are covered in the first category would be A levels, Australian matriculation, CAT, or also known as ACCA Foundations in Accounting, diploma in early child education, diploma in IoT, and diploma. We also got the American Degree Transfer Program, right? And these will be based on your SPM or IGCSE results, and also requires an interview. So the minimum criteria for IGCSE is 9 A stars, and for SPM students, it's 10 A's and 9 of them must be A+. So 9 A+ and 1 A, basically, no A minuses, all right? For those who are applying for ADTP and ACCA, same criteria requires an interview as well. 4 A's in A levels, CGPA of 4 in SCPM, ATAR of 98 or above in OSMAT, and 5 points in UEC. And our point system for UEC is basically A is 1, B is 2, B is 3. Your top 5 subjects, whatever grades they get, you assign the points and then you add them up. And then you see what your total is. Basically, for the point system in UEC, a smaller number is better. Okay, so the main thing to bear in mind with our 100% scholarship is that the places are very limited. Not everyone will be able to get this award. Okay, and applications are basically subject to approval when being selected by the scholarship board. And selection is based on 2 main criteria. One is the student must meet the academic requirements, basically the number of A's as shown in the table, but they must also submit a proof of household income, so tax return forms, salary slips, and so on, because the second criteria is need basis, right? So if you have very good academic results, but you are also extremely well off in terms of your financial situation, then your chances of getting the scholarship may not be as high, let's put it that way. Okay, and in addition to that, all right, if you do get selected for the 100% scholarship, it is not a free ride guaranteed for life. Okay, students are required to maintain a minimum GPA of 3.2 or above in their semester assessments, or an average of 70% in CAT and ACCA, right? So these requirements are basically on a semester by semester basis. So for example, first semester, you may get 100% coverage, and then subsequent semesters will depend on whether or not you meet the GPA requirements. Okay, so students who are not selected for 100% scholarship, all right, let's say you apply for 100%, but you were not selected by the scholarship board. By default, you will qualify for the next highest tier of our merit scholarship in whichever category for whatever program you're studying in. So as you can see in the table here, if you're doing, let's say, A-levels, OSMET or ADTP, if you didn't get the 100%, the next highest one you can qualify for that you'll get by default is 12,000 ringgit. Okay. And then for those who didn't qualify for the others, you will, these are all the prerequisites you can see over here. Anywhere from 1,000 ringgit to 12,000 ringgit, you can see all the separate categories going up from 5As, 6As, 8As, and so on. All right. Do note that for certain categories, let's say, for example, the 12,000 ringgit scholarship, IGCSE requires 8 A stars, and for SPM, you need 9 As, and 8 of them must be A+. Okay. And then for the 9,500 ringgit scholarship, same thing for IGCSE, 9 As and 8 A stars, or SPM 8 A+, and so on. Okay. Now, the thing about these fixed amount scholarships, all right, is that they do not have GPA requirements in order to maintain these scholarships. Okay, the values that you see here are the full values that you will get so long as you complete your studies with MCKL. Doesn't matter whether you're doing extremely well or not so well in your studies. So long as you can complete it, you can get the coverage. Okay. For international students, a separate category with the requirements you can see here, scholarships ranging from 2,500 ringgit to 5,000 ringgit. And then we also have merit scholarships for our diploma programs, DECE, DSW, DDS, and DIOT. You can see that some of the amounts are slightly different, and especially in terms of the prerequisites, all right? Because these programs have a little less competition, so the requirements are not as steep as for our pre-U programs. So for example, this 12,000 ringgit scholarship just requires 8 As and above. You don't need any A+ or A stars, okay? But still no A minus. A minus categories only apply for 3,000 to 7,000 ringgit, as you can see over here. And for international students, scholarships are available as well, 2,500 ringgit to 5,000 ringgit. And then moving on to CIT and ACCA FIA, okay? Because the program cost is lower, you can see that the values are different as well. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward, as you can see here. Okay, same as the other, same format as the other scholarships, fixed amounts, no GPA requirements, and prerequisites are all up here. And don't worry too much if you can't take all this in at once, okay? All of this information is also available on our website, so you will be able to see it online for reference later, okay? And then for our ACCA program, full-time only, okay, papers F1 to F3, you can see our various criteria for the scholarships. 100% tuition fee scholarship for A-levels requires 4 As, STPM GPA of CGPA of 4, Australian year 12, or basically OSMET or South Australian matriculation, any of those matriculations, 98 or above. UEC 5 points, and then Going down, you can see all the various other values and all their associated requirements on their own separate categories. Okay. And for the ADTP program, same concept as you can see over here. Okay. Again, we will try to move through this part quickly. Don't worry too much about this. You can either take screenshots or you can refer to our website later on to check what the values are for all the specific scholarships that you qualify for. Okay, international students can apply for this one as well, up to 5,000 ringgit. And then we'll be moving on to look at our special scholarships. Now, all of our special scholarships are percentage based, and they do require GPA for maintenance. So a GPA of 2.20 out of 4, okay, which should be fairly within reach for the vast majority of students, okay. So going a little more in depth, Methodist pastors' children, for those who is pretty straightforward. Children of non-Methodist pastors, 50% scholarship. Members of local Methodist church, as I mentioned before, students have to be the members, not parents or other relatives. Sibling scholarship and selected schools and ICC qualifications. Okay, and all these percentages are based on tuition fees only. And then the other scholarships that we have, all right, financial aid, maintenance criteria, all of them the same GPA of 2.20 out of 4, and subject to interviews. So for the top two ones, okay, financial aid and student leader and achievement award. For January intakes, unfortunately, our application deadline for these scholarships for the January intake is already closed. But you can still register for the January intake, but I'm afraid that the scholarship coverage for these ones is past for this first batch already. You can still apply for them, but they will most likely be awarded only for the second semester onwards if it's for the January intake. But for those who are considering for the March, April, or May intakes or August intakes, it's no problem. You can continue. You can apply for financial and student leader achievement award. The deadline for the other categories would be before the 10th of June. Okay. Just to go quickly through the rest. MCKL Steadfast Scholarship, as mentioned before, those who are under Steadfast Association, GPA and interviews are required. Joint ECE Scholarship, we also already talked about that. Preston LPH Award, as mentioned before, GPA of 3.8 or above in your studies whilst in MCKL, not while in school. Okay. These and holding a leadership position in a co-curricular club or society in MCKL. This is to apply for 100% tuition fee coverage for one semester at a time whilst you are in college. Okay, and you can continue applying each semester so long as you maintain your GPA and hold your leadership position. Then Star Education Fund, Sintra Education Fund, we also talked about those already. Okay, those are selected by Star and Sinchu, and basically you apply through them first. Okay, and all the percentages over here are based on tuition fees only, unless stated otherwise. For example, the Star Education Fund and Sinchu Education Fund, they do have some awards that can cover other other fees aside from tuition fees. For example, lab fees and academic resource fees and so on. Okay. And of course, as you can see over here, all of these are subject to selection by committee based on the criteria that are set, whether it is academic or co-curricular. All right, is not guaranteed just because you submitted an application. Let's put it that way. Okay, and then one important thing to remember is that our scholarship reimbursement here at MCKL for the vast majority of awards is not an upfront discount. Okay, a lot of them follow a reimbursement format. So what do we mean by reimbursement? Basically, it's like this, okay? Your first semester for whatever program is paid in full, okay? And then at the end of the semester, a scholarship voucher will be given to you to reduce the subsequent semesters payment of the fees. So, for example, let's say you've got a 100% merit scholarship. First semester, pay in full. Second semester, you get the voucher, reduce your tuition fees to 0, although you still may have other miscellaneous fees to pay. Okay, and then your first voucher is always guaranteed because it's based on your school results. And then the subsequent vouchers, this is where your GPA maintenance comes in, right? For 100% scholarship, GPA was 3.2 out of 4. For other special scholarships, it's GPA of 2.2 out of 4. All right. And then basically, this pattern will repeat each semester, going on and on until you've completed your studies. And then your final portion of the scholarship is refunded to you together with your deposit after you have finished your studies. Okay, so these are for the scholarships, the percentage-based scholarships, okay? Scholarships, it's also given in this format for those fixed amount scholarships, like for example, the 12,000 ringgit or 9,000 ringgit scholarships, okay? So same thing, first semester, payment is made in full. Then a scholarship voucher is given at the end of the semester to reduce the subsequent semester's payment. And the amount awarded each semester is, as a general guideline, it is the total value of your scholarship divided by the number of semesters of your program, with a minimum of 1,000 ringgit given. So for example, if you have the 1,000 ringgit scholarship, we are not going to split that across 3 semesters. We'll just give it to you one shot in your second semester as 1,000 ringgit. And for tertiary programs like ADTP or the Diploma in Early Child Education, these vouchers are awarded only during the long semesters. So for example, the January to May session and the August to December session, right? And again, if there is any value left over after you've completed your studies, one final portion of the scholarship is refunded after you have completed, if there are any funds remaining. Okay, because as a general guideline, for the larger values, we are not going to give it all one shot to you straight away. It will, as mentioned, it'll be divided equally if possible, okay, with a minimum of 1,000 ringgit each semester. Now, there are some scholarship awards, for example, say the STAR Scholarship or the Sinchu Education Fund, where the scholarship is given in a disbursement format, which means that an upfront discount, okay? So first semester fees are reduced immediately, all right? No need to wait for anything, no need to wait for the next semester, all right? Then a scholarship voucher is given at the end of each semester to reduce the subsequent semester's payment. First reduction is guaranteed based on school results, and subsequent vouchers will depend on whether or not you maintain your GPA in your internal exams, okay? All right, so that is basically the general information that we give for the vast majority of our scholarships, okay? So just a little bit of housekeeping, okay? Scholarships, all right, require the submission of a program application form as well in order to be considered valid, all right? So let's say you have a very good SPM or IGCSE results, and you qualify to apply for a 100% scholarship. Please send your application form for the program first, okay, together with the scholarship. Please don't send just the scholarship form only, because we cannot tie it to anything, all right? We need you to apply for a program first, okay? So you can do that together, all right? Also bear in mind, second point here is that our scholarships are not automatically awarded, all right? There are scholarship forms that you need to fill up in addition to the program application form. So for example, if you apply for A levels, you got 10 A stars, okay? But you did not send in a scholarship form, then you will not be put into the selection for the scholarship yet, because you must also send in the form. We do not look at your results and automatically award it to you. Okay, you must send the scholarship form as well. All right, so this will just remember these two basic points, and then you will make things a lot smoother for yourself and everyone else involved. Okay. And also, please bear in mind that scholarships are not redeemable for cash. Okay. So, for example, all right, let's say you are awarded a 12,000 ringgit scholarship. Okay. And then you may do, for example, the American Degree Transfer Program. And you may take, let's say, only 3 semesters in the college. All right. Before you decide that you are actually eligible to transfer to the American universities, right? So maybe at that point, after 3 semesters, you may only have spent, say, about 7, 8, 9,000 ringgit out of your 12,000 ringgit of your scholarship. Okay, it will continue covering for you if you stay longer, but you decide that you already want to transfer. You can do that, no problem. However, you cannot redeem the balance of your scholarship for cash. Basically, you cannot approach the finance department and say that I still got 3,000 ringgit remaining. Can you give it to me for money so that I can continue my studies elsewhere? I'm afraid that scholarships are only redeemable for your tuition fees whilst in MCKL and cannot be brought forward or brought elsewhere. Same thing if you withdraw for any other reason. Maybe, for example, you study your A-levels with a 12,000 merit scholarship. After 1 semester, you decide, actually, I want to go somewhere else. I want to go and study a foundation in wherever else. And then you will not be eligible to receive cash for the balance of your scholarship as well. It is only for your studies here in MCKL. So that's something to bear in mind, okay? And students can only receive 1 scholarship at a time. So for example, you might be a member of a Methodist church, that qualifies you for 10%. And you may also have good results that qualifies you for 12,000 ringgit scholarship. You cannot have both together. You can only choose one. And naturally, most students will go to choose the 12,000 ringgit, right? In some cases, you may qualify for various scholarships that may be different scholarships which are similar in value. For example, you may qualify for 50% pastor's child from other Methodist church, 50%, and also you may qualify for, say, 9,000 ringgit merit scholarship. In a case like that, then you have to look at your tuition fees and calculate and see which one is of higher value to you. But also bear in mind that percentage scholarships have GPA requirements and fixed amount scholarships do not. So if you're very confident about meeting your grades, you can always go for potentially the higher one if it's a percentage based, or if you want to play it safe, then you may go for a fixed amount, which is guaranteed so long as you complete your studies with us. And this one is very important, okay? For your school results, only the results which have been received within 2 years from the commencement date are accepted, okay? Meaning that you cannot use your school results from 5, 6 years ago in order to apply for a scholarship now, all right? It has to be within the last 2 years. And also it could not have been used for any other scholarship in any other institution. For example, maybe you've already completed a foundation in another college, and that college had awarded you already 100% scholarship based on your SPM results. Then you cannot come back, you cannot come to MCKL and ask for another scholarship using those same school results that you have already been awarded for a scholarship in another institution. Okay. And this one is applicable mainly to IGCSE O-level students. You are allowed to combine results from multiple sittings, but these sittings have to be within a 12-month period as long as there are no overlapping subjects. So maybe in June 2020, you took Bahasa, and then the rest of your subjects are in the November 2020 sitting. You can combine them together to calculate the total number of A's, all right? But for example, if you have some results from say, June 2018, and you want to combine them with the results from November 2020, that one is too far apart already. They all have to be within a 12-month period, all right? And of course, as long as there are no overlapping subjects. So you cannot resit for the same subject, and then both of them, if they both get A's, you cannot count both of those A's, all right? If they're the same subject, then they cannot be combined, okay? And of course, I won't be able to cover absolutely every single point in relation to our scholarships over here on this webinar, okay? Terms and conditions do apply to all these scholarships, even if they are not explicitly mentioned by me online today, okay? So all these terms and conditions will be in the scholarship forms themselves, so please read them thoroughly, all right? Even if you're very confident that you've memorized everything I've said here today, it's still better to read them thoroughly because there are little points here and there that you have to be aware of for each of these scholarships in their respective forms.